go. That's what I'm talking about. My nice Italian wine, which I don't even know how to say the name of this right here, but all I drink is Italian wine now. Like I've always been a beer drinker. Love beer, love whiskey, but all of a sudden I'm just like hardcore Italian wine, like specifically only Italian wine too. Like that's it. So, and my stomach feels better, and it's just nice, man. It's nice and highly recommended. Highly recommended. Okay, anyways, look. So, basically, I'm starting a skateboarding league, professional skateboarding league, which, first of all, probably sounds crazy. And I even think it's kind of crazy. But the thing is, I feel like I had a good enough idea that I've been kind of like thinking about. I've probably been thinking about this idea for the last, I'm going to say 8 years, something like that. And I'd say within about 2 years, or about 2 years ago, I started actually like considering like maybe I should think back to that thought 8 years ago and exploring it with detail on just like every single level of what we're trying to do. And then the idea just kept getting better and better and better and better. And I eventually was like, well, I'm going to give it a shot. I mean, worst case scenario, it flops. Who cares? If it flops, at least I know it wasn't a good idea. So to me, it's always like, I don't know, me and my brother have always started companies, and some haven't done good, some have done great, some are okay. You know, it's like some have gone out of business, probably don't even remember them, which is good. But I don't know. We're never afraid to try something new and try to just go for something a little bit different than what I think everybody else is like in the contest lane right now of what everybody's doing in skateboarding. This lane we're looking down, I don't think anybody's looking down. Like I think it's just a totally different concept. And once I say the concept and actually break it down and how it works and the scoring and all that stuff, you're gonna hear me say it and you're just gonna go, yeah, that's it, you know. And that's what we want you to say is that's it, because every single, like, if you look at any sport there is, basketball, football, baseball, everything. Actually, there's pretty complicated rules in all those. But ultimately, the main goal of every sport is like, say if it's basketball, it's like 4 quarters, most points wins. You know, and how do you score points? Okay, there's a 3-pointer and there's a 2-pointer, and that's it. You know, it's like, now there's traveling and all these other micro rules that matter. You can't be in the paint for more than 3 seconds offensively, but defensively, you know, you could be on there unlimited if you're an arm's length, whatever. It's like you start to get into like the nitty gritty of little things of like all the nuances of the rules of every sport. But like ultimately every single sport is basically like, did he make a 3-pointer or did he not? Did the ball go in the hoop? Yes or no? Football, did he get into the end zone? Yes or no? Baseball, did he touch home plate? Yes or no? So like what we're trying to do is make a skateboarding format that's actually yes or no. That's it. And the only way you really do that with skating, because skating is literally the most subjective thing. Like, how do you judge if like a nollie tray flip is better than a switch tray flip? You know, it's like it's subjective to that person. Like to me personally, nollie tray flip and I forgot the other trick. Did I say nollie tray and switch tray? Like to me, nollie tray is harder. Actually, to most people, it's probably harder. But like to a non-skater or somebody that barely skates, like they could potentially just be like, I don't know. I mean, I could guarantee you they're going to say I don't know, because why would you know that? Like which one's harder? Which is kind of our point, is you need to make it yes or no. Only way you ever make anything yes or no is if you do kind of like a game of skate format, which I'll end up talking about a little bit more. But first want to be like, just talk about how this format and this company just in general is made to be the most streamlined, dumbed down, simplified thing possible. Even to the name. If you look at the name PSL, which you're probably going to think pumpkin spice latte, which I never thought about until everybody else started saying it. And I was like, shit, I already filed a damn trademark. Can't reverse it now, but whatever. It's fine. Which, I think is funny. All I see is pumpkin spice latte is hopefully one day there's a good sponsorship opportunity. So, come on through. Get sponsored by Chianti. This is the type of wine, Chianti. If you didn't know that, if you don't know what Chianti is, I highly recommend getting Chianti. Anyways, Professional Skateboarding League. That name is very boring, and that is even like, we're trying to simplify everything. Professional Skateboarding League. To me, that sounds like PSL. You either want pumpkin spice latte or it's Professional Skateboarding League. And if it's Professional Skateboarding League, that just means, if I'm at Thanksgiving or something like that, I'm talking to my aunt. She's like, oh, what have you been doing lately? And I'm like, I'm starting the Stairmaster contest. She'd be like, oh, that sounds crazy, cool, and cute. That sounds cute. That sounds like a fun project. Or you say, I'm doing a Professional Skateboarding League. And then she doesn't have to ask questions anymore. She just goes, that sounds like a league of professional skateboarders. It isn't a conversation once you hear the name. So everything is built to be like just streamlined. What is it? It's Professional Skateboarding League. That explains itself. That's it. So that's, goal one, it kind of like starts with the name to me. And then you get into the format, and the format is basically stairs only, stairs game of skate, and it's teams. And I think teams are important too, because teams are like, to me, I've always been confused why skate contest has never been like a team-based thing, because it's like our culture of skateboarding has always been, it's like girl. I was on girl. That to me is like, I always wished when I first got on girl, I'd be like, dude, that'd be so sick to compete with Eric Costin, with Guy Mariano, and with Rick Howard and Mike Carroll and all these dudes, and Sean Malto, my boy. Like I always wish I could compete with them, and that's what I necessarily didn't love, is that like, it's like, say we're even playing a game of skate on flat ground, which I always wanted to beat everybody, of course, but but like I'm saying, when it's Battle at the Barracks or something like that, and we're playing skate and playing against somebody that I'm like really good friends with, I'm like, I wish we were on a team together playing other people. That would be more fun to me. So, and that's probably why this spawned like this idea a long time ago. But I always thought about, if you do it downstairs and it's a team thing, because the skill sets of like being a skater, the skill sets of like jumping downstairs and actually successfully landing tricks consistently as a team, individually, very difficult. As a team, you need to rely on whoever your teammate's skill set is. Like, say, back in the day, I would have been pretty good at switch flipping the stairs and doing switch tricks or whatever. I would have needed someone like, that could do 360s and stuff, because I was never good at that. So that would have been fun to me, is to like have somebody that helps your weakness. So it starts to become very strategic, which I think is cool. So if you're playing another team, for example, that's very good at heel flipping, and your team is not good at heel flipping, they're going to heel flip you to death. If you're good at switch tricks, they're not good at switch tricks. They're going to do switch flips, switch heels. They're going to switch you to death, right? And it becomes very, very strategic. It's a chess match. And that's why, like for me, I start to get excited about this thing, because it's totally about the skill to execute that stuff. But at the same time, you gotta have have the right strategy. Plus, you got to be able to execute it. So you have to be highly skilled. and smart about it, strategic, and to me that makes a fun, like something fun to watch, is that it's not just mindless activity of being like, I have to be the best today, and then hopefully people recognize how good I am, and then hopefully they put me in first place. No, I don't think it should work that way. I think what it should be is a strategy, like every other sport. I grew up watching sports way before I even skated. Like my whole life was all sports. So like I think of that's I guess why I probably think of things this way. But ultimately, it's like I think that would be a more fun format to watch, and the reason why it's stairs only too for now. I mean, I think eventually we could get into like maybe doing handrails or maybe hubbas or something like that within this contest. But the reason why we're starting with only stairs, back to what I said about just the name itself, start at the simplest form first and then add on later. Like, we don't need to overcomplicate what skateboarding is. Like, there's a million different ways you could skate. There's a million different tricks. We all know that. So hone in to one thing only, and then start branching out eventually if it's required. Maybe it's not required. I don't know. That's kind of the point of this whole test, is just to like figure out what the hell we're doing. I mean, skim it down, simplest form, figure out what's missing, add on to it. It's easier to do it that way than to promise the world and then retract. That's not going to work. So skim it down to the simplest form. And then the next thing is, why handrails only? Or sorry, why stairs only? Why no handrails, no hubbas for now? The main reason for that is because if you start to look at like a team game of skate, and back to my, my reference of, switch flipping the stairs, the other team, even if they're not good at switch flips, they're still going to try. They're still going to give it a shot, and sometimes they might even land it. Just like I was never good at heel flips. If somebody heel flipped the stairs, I could barely heel flip, but maybe I could do it. Like maybe I could just whip one out, which I think is entertaining to watch, because if that person that it's one of your favorite skaters or something, and they can't switch flip the stairs, and all of a sudden they just like rocket a switch flip down the stairs and actually land it and ride away. First of all, they're going to surprise themselves, and then second of all, they're going to surprise the crowd too. Like they're going to trip you out, they're going to trip themselves out, and then it's going to trip you out that they trip themselves out, which I think is such a cool layer to this to this format that we're doing. But back to handrails, if let's say Yuto's in this thing, right? And he does a nollie 270 nose slide down the handrail. You're going to see that as a competitor, like you're on the other team, does nollie 270 nose slide. You're going to be like, I am not trying that. You won't. It's not, you literally would not do that. Like, if there's no way. Like, I'm trying to think of somebody in it right now that's currently, we've already listed the whole team, or we've listed who's in it and who's the teams. I'll just say Paul's in it. I know Paul would see that nollie 270 nose slide and go, I'm not trying that. Like, give me a point. That's what he would do. So if you start to like, which is kind of like almost like a walk in baseball. Like it'd be like if you're just walking, like Yuto does nollie 270 nose slide, and then Nyjah backside flip nose grinds a rail or something, and somebody switch backside nose blunts a rail. All those tricks, most skaters are gonna be like, I'm not trying that. And if they do, it's very dangerous to try it. You could get hurt. Where in comparison back to stairs, say somebody switch big spin flips the stairs, it's like you can huck one down the stairs, hopefully land on it, maybe do it potentially. A way lower chance to get hurt switch big spin flipping the stairs than it is like a backside flip nose grind down the handrail. So I think maybe there's room eventually where you do like a rail add-on here and there, like just for one trick or something like that to score a point. Just to, skating is such a well-rounded thing that it sucks to limit it just to stairs only. But like I said, start with that, add on later, right? But anyways, the team, or sorry, the who we have in this thing is like a pretty crazy lineup. It's Paul, Deshaun Jordan. That's team one. They are playing Miles Silvas and Art Cordova, which Art Cordova is insane. Miles is insane. Deshaun's insane. Paul, they're all insane. So that's match one. Match two is going to be Nyjah Houston and Zach Saraceno and Jamie Foy and Roman Hager. And Roman Hager is like a little am kid. He'll trip you out too. He's super good. But Chris Jocelyn, it was going to be Chris Jocelyn and Roman Hager, but what ended up happening is Chris Jocelyn got a little heel bruise, so he's out for the weekend, and then Jamie Foy's gonna take his spot. So, but those lineups. First of all, I want to say I'm gonna shout out all those dudes. Thank you to every single one of those guys, because it's so cool that I was able to hit these guys up, and literally every single one of them said yes without me even like explaining the format. They're like, "I'm down. I trust you. I'm down to skate in it." And I'm like, "Okay, but the format works this way." And they're like, "Cool, nice." like they basically are just like, they were just down to do it. Not one person asked me what the prize money is. No one cared. They just know that I'm trying to do something different and new, and they believed in that concept, and they were just totally down for it. So everyone that you're going to see, we're going to do our contest on Friday. Or sorry, it's coming up Saturday. And every one of these dudes did it for free. And didn't even question money. They didn't even think about it. They just trust it and trust the vision of what we're trying to do, and barely know the format. But I keep telling them, I'm like, hey, once you skate in this, you're going to see how strategic it actually is. I'm like, this thing's a chess match. You got to be good, but it's a chess match. You got to have like a right strategy. So they all basically are like, okay. Like, there's not many questions asked. It's kind of trips me out a little bit. So, but yeah, Saturday, 6 p.m. that this thing's going live. So I'm very curious what you guys think. And let me run into the exact format though, just to like really break it down, because I want people educated while they're watching it. I feel like the more educated you are on this thing, the more likely you're going to enjoy it from the very, very beginning. Which I just want to use as an example. I'll explain it visually, because I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so check this out. This is the scoreboard for it. So we got Nyjah's team versus Foy's team on the very first match. Let me pour some more Chianti. Hold on. I'm just getting warmed up. How long have I been talking? Probably 18 minutes too long. Okay. All right, so this first match, let me rephrase this. Very first match that's coming up on Saturday. It's really just a test match. It's an exhibition match. We're just doing it just to do it, just to see what the response is and what people think. So I'm very curious what you guys think. Please follow PSL, the YouTube channel, and because we're premiering it on there on Saturday. So please watch it. Please let us know what you think. And then I'm going to break down this format right now. Okay. So let's do this. And by the way, me and ChatGPT wrote all the code to this whole thing. This is, look, how many, I took coding classes, by the way. You know, I got hurt a long time ago, got bored, took coding classes. Now I can code a little bit. I suck at coding. I want to be very clear about that. Any real coder would look at my script and be like, yeah, that's just a whole bunch of if statements and you suck at coding. But thousands of lines of code. And I'm very proud of it. It's my first thing that I've done. I mean, I've done websites and stuff, but I've never done anything like this, where it's actually like, this is the stat keeper right here. And I didn't know anything about macros and stuff on Excel. I was trying to figure out a way where I could like make buttons, but have it do something on a website. So I figured out, and I didn't want it to be, I want it all, like if you look at this, I'm running this off a local server. I didn't want it connected to the internet because just in case if we're doing a live event and I'm running off of like say Google Sheets, Google Sheets instead of Excel. Google Sheets would be a lot easier to work off because it's dynamic and you can actually like I could be anywhere in the world and just go to back to that sheet and see it. But Excel is offline, so to me that was more important because when we're doing these live events and I click something, I don't have to worry about it going through a server just in case the server crashes during our contest or whatever. It'd be a problem, and then the whole thing is screwed. So I ended up figuring out a way to connect little macros. So I turned all these into little buttons, which controls their stats, individual stats. And the way we break down the stats is regular, fakie, switch, nollie. That's it for now. I mean, eventually we'll probably get into kickflip, heel flip, and stuff like that. But I love sports in general, like I talked about earlier, and I think this shit is nerdy, and I had a really good time doing it. It was very fun to me. So anyways, figured out a way. So you go like this, basically. Nyjah Houston, let's say he's up first. Nyjah's team is up first. They're on offense. This arrow is basically like, hey, person watching, that dude, that team over there is on offense, which is Nyjah's team. These 3 dots indicate that their team stays on offense until they miss 3 offensive tries. Once they miss 3 offensive tries, it switches to Foy's team. I'll show you how you get points. So let's say Nyjah lands a regular trick. Sometimes on the first load, this thing's a little slow, so give it a break. Give it a break. Come on. Okay. First load's a little weird. I coded it, so it sucks. Okay, anyways. Reloaded it. You saw that thing pop up. Trick set. Defense. That way. Foy's team's on defense. These 2 things indicate their defensive tries. So let's say Nyjah did a regular trick, which was like a kickflip down the stairs. And just like a game of skate, you can't repeat the same trick twice. Just like, the common, yeah. So let's say Nyjah kickflipped it. Jamie Foy goes up and he misses a kickflip. So what that does is, oh my God, is this thing gonna... Okay, unsuccessful defend. So now that indicates that he missed it and his teammate gets a try. So each person on the team both gets to try the trick. If one guy makes it, it matches the trick, and then it just goes back to offense. So Foy missed the kickflip. Roman missed the kickflip. You'll see the whole scoreboard switch. Point scored by offense. 1 point for Nyjah's team. Now, Nyjah's team is back on offense because they stay on offense until they miss 3 offensive tricks. So let's say Zach Saraceno goes up and he tries to fakie flip the stairs. Offensive miss. See, now he has 1. We don't want to call them outs because it sounds like too blatant that we're just copying baseball in a way. But like, has anybody seen basketball out there? Basketball's so sick. This kind of reminds me of basketball in a way, which is pretty funny. So we like to call them misses or bails, but outs I think is like literally the most like you just know what it means. But let's just call them, I don't know, call it whatever you want. I think eventually a certain term will stick and we'll see what happens. But okay, so Nyjah goes up, fakie flips the stairs. Let's repeat this. On defense, you guys already know they could both miss it, and then Nyjah's team gets a point. But let's say Jamie Foy goes up and fakie flips the stairs first try. He doesn't even need his teammate to do it. Trick matched, back to offense. Nyjah's team stays on offense. And let's just run through this really quick because you'll see what I'm getting at. Okay, offensive miss. Offensive miss. Okay, now, see 3 of them. It switches sides. Now, Foy's team is on offense. And the pattern just repeats. So, now Jamie goes up. And he switch heel flips the stairs. He landed it. Nyjah's team, they both miss switch heel. Unsuccessful defend by Nyjah. Unsuccessful defend by Zach, and here we are. It's 1-1, just like that. So then you start to look at all this. This is like the in-person monitor versus like live broadcast will be, only this thing, obviously. And this is like in person on all the TVs around the arena. You start to be able to see and nerd out on everybody's stats. You're like, okay, Jamie Foy is right here. His offensive average is 100%. His defensive average is 67%. He's 1 for 1 on switch tricks, 1 for 2 on regular. And it's just like that across the board for everybody. You could even see Jamie has scored 1 point. Nigel has scored 1 point. So, long-term goal, you start to actually build out real stats for people and to do like a real full seasons. Like let's say we do a new event every week for 6 weeks, and that's our first season. That's like a long-term goal, is to get there. This first one that's about to come up is literally just an exhibition match to test, to see if all these theories are true that I'm talking about. I could easily be wrong and everything sucks. I don't know, who knows. But the goal, if everything goes to plan, would be like, Nigel's team versus Foy's team week 1. And then week 2 would be Nigel's team versus Paul's team. And then week 3, it's like, well, actually, let me think about this. Because fight night, basically, you go have a UFC fight night, and there's like 6 cards for the night. I would like to create something like that where every one of these guys are going to skate every week, but they're going to play somebody else different in the roster or the different teams. So it'd be like, Kansas City Chiefs, which I'm sure you hate, but, it's Malto's team, so give me a break. The Chiefs are, they play every Sunday. Nigel's team should skate every Sunday. Foy's team should skate every Sunday. Paul's team should skate every Sunday. So it's like kind of the same method where it's just like one game per week, and it's ultimately just like fight card style. So it'd be like back-to-back games, and everybody will build out a record, which leads to the playoffs, which leads to like a championship round. Kind of just like how every other sport is structured. So this thing is not about being creative at all. Like none of this is creative. It's just copying what like other successful sports do. Like that's I think, to me, what I would want to watch. So that's why we're doing it. And to be clear too, for this first one, we have absolutely no sponsors. Me and my brother are funding the whole thing. We're doing absolutely everything from the ground up. So if you actually ended up watching this for 30 minutes of me ranting about this, sorry for all my stuttering and stupid whatever, it would help a lot if you, first of all, share what PSL is to anybody that skates. That would help a lot. Follow our YouTube channel. That helps. Check out the live premiere on Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And let us know what you think, because ultimately we want to build something that I think could be, like, I want this to be a consistent thing, where there's like real seasons. And me being like a skate fan and a sports fan, I would want to see something like me personally would want to see something like this. And I'm not saying this is the cure for everything in skateboarding, okay? I want to be fucking clear to anybody out there that is what critiquing this shit, okay? I'm just making something I think would be fun, and if people like it, that's cool. And if it flops, that sucks, because me and my brother funded this whole thing. But I would rather try to do something like this than have it just sit in my mind or sit on a pitch deck for the rest of my life and then regret it forever. I don't mind failing at this, and I want to improve this. I think it would be cool. It's something that I would enjoy watching, which I think will be fun, because I actually care about this. I think it's cool. I actually don't know what else I really want to do in life than this. Like, if this works, I'm going to be very happy, because I would love to do, like, I would love for this to be my career, to to run something like this. I think that would be cool. It's like a hobby of mine. Skating is obviously a hobby of mine. So to make something different would be fun. This wine's good. I highly recommend it. Okay, so I'm sure I missed a lot of things. I hope you understand the format. I hope you watch everything. I think I was going to talk about something different, but I probably don't need to since I've been talking for 30 minutes. But check it out. Let me know what you think. Please follow PSL, and let's see what happens on Saturday. Who knows what? Who knows? Who knows if it's gonna work or not? Don't know. We're gonna see. But thank you guys. I haven't posted on this channel in probably 5 years or longer, so I don't even know if anybody's out there. But if you listen to this whole thing, then thank you very much. Actually, if you listen to the whole thing, how about this? If you listen to the whole thing, the tickets are already sold out for this one. Email me for the next one, and I'll give you free tickets. Just go to pslskateboarding.com and type in your email. But actually, well, you could do that. I'm trying to think of the way that I'm going to actually follow up on this. Email me personally, mikemo@pslskateboarding.com, and be like, hey, I watched that whole thing. I made it through the whole thing. Give me free tickets, and I will. But we don't have the next one scheduled, though. That's the problem. So I'll have to put you on a list, and then I'm just making this shit up right now, by the way, if you can't tell. So give me a break. Email me. I'll put you on a certain list that then makes sure that you get tickets for the next event if this one doesn't flop. If this one flops, there will be no tickets. So, okay. Email me. Follow PSL on YouTube, please. Watch it, please. If you hate it, let me know. If you like it, also let me know. But, or if you really hate it though, and you like don't like me anymore because of that, then like maybe keep that to yourself. But this is what I'm gonna say. There's no way anybody's still watching this. These little things over here, kind of like timeout indicators. Basically, what those are. Oh shit! I didn't even say it. By the way, most points at the end of 5 rounds wins this whole thing. And then these indicators are basically all about. It's called a rebate. It's almost used as like a timeout in a way. So as I was saying earlier, remember Jamie Foy? He was on defense. He missed his kickflip down the stairs, and then Roman had a chance to also kickflip the stairs. But say Roman's not good at kickflips, and Jamie's basically like, hey, I got this kickflip, let me go again. So that's called a rebate, and the teams are allowed to use that rebate 2 times per the whole game. And besides that, I think I got everything. I could sit here and keep ranting, which I'm not going to. Email me, follow all the other shit that I was talking about. There's no way you watched all this. Thank you.